We're shaking, homies. Today is May the 26th, 2014. Greetings, I'm the Great One himself, Cynical Libertarian Society, cynlibsoc.com on the internet. We're here in the recording studio. God, I already can't talk. It's a good thing this is not a podcast, right, Randy? We're here in the recording studio, in the control room, the lovely and adorable Randy. I am the Great One himself. And we're going to play some Smackdown for you here on the Stating the Obvious podcast. Then, I'm going to go for a nice bicycle ride because it's beautiful outside.
You can scream and shout with all your might.
Oh, you can scream, shout, whine, cry, snivel, piss, and moan.
Dig in your heels and hold on tight.
You can shove your opinion up your ass. That way Obama's cock has something to keep it company.
Either you are wrong or I am right.
Oh, and don't forget, the ever-present, the most likely third possibility, you are wrong and I am right. That's just how it shakes out. My rightness is amazing because my rightness is ever evolving because I continuously learn and expand instead of just mindlessly believing what I see on television. And that's why I do this podcast, Stating the Obvious, the weapons platform from which I launch the cruise missile of my intellect that homes in on and destroys fucking nukes. Stupid motherfuckers all around the world. This fucking cruise missile that is nuclear tipped, it homes in on statists, it homes in on stupid people, and it can fly around the entire globe. That's what its range is. It is fucking unstoppable. Anyway, I did all the boring shit. You know who we are. You can send us email if you like. God at cynlibsoc.com. That's God, dog spelled backwards, God. Alright, Randy, did I leave anything important out? I got a lot of shit. Okay, if you've listened to the last couple episodes of Anarchy Moment and stuff, I've been talking about this great episode of Stating the Obvious that's coming up. This is not it. Although this is going to be a fantastic episode. Let me tell you right now. This is not the great one, though. Not the great episode. I am the Great One. I am the Great One himself, as opposed to Obama, who is, of course, just the Great One, because he is the Messiah, the second coming of Jesus. I'm the Great One himself. And the great episode of Stating the Obvious is coming up. I'm still working on the outline and the notes and everything like that, which, of course, ultimately is a total fucking waste of time, because it's not like I'm going to stick to the outline, right, Randy? I mean, what do you think? How long do you think I'll be able to stick to the outline before I go off topic and down some rabbit hole? Probably like 7 minutes. And that's if I'm on a really good day. All right, what we're going to talk about today, however, this is something, and this was posted a while back, and I read this a while back, and when I read this, I said, holy shit, why did I not think of this? But you see, that's what's great about being me, is that I recognize I can't think of everything, which is why I don't think I have all the fucking answers and know everything. Like you people out, I love you people out there, because I encountered this recently. It's a long story, it doesn't matter. Here's the short version. You people, well, I've been a Democrat all my life, or I've been a Christian all my life, or I've been a Republican all my life. So wait a minute, you're telling me that you're 45 years old, and you still have the same fucking worldview you had when you were 12. Okay, what you've just admitted to me, but you're too stupid to know you've admitted, is that you've never had a fucking thought at any time in your life. You've never applied critical thinking to anything in your life. As I've said before, I've done it all, man. I've been Christian, I've been atheist, I've been a fucking Buddhist, I've been a Republican, I've been a Democrat, I've been a socialist, I've been a commie, I've been a liberal and a conservative, if you want to call those different than a Republican. I've done it all. Been there, done it. I've been a libertarian, I've been a minarchist, and now, finally, after years and years, after 9 fucking years of Stating the Obvious podcast, after 9 years, plus more before that, of course, of thinking and analyzing and critical thinking and looking at evidence and doing research. And research doesn't mean Googling something and reading the first fucking link. I'm talking about real research. After years and years and years and years, I have arrived at the non-aggression principle in property rights. I have arrived at anarcho-capitalism, and you fuckers are still out there utilizing the same worldview you had when you were 12 fucking years old. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Now, back on topic, because of course we go off topic here as quickly as possible. And by we, I mean me, because there's nobody on this show but me. Although, maybe, if I get my shit together, I don't want to make any I don't want to make any promises I can't keep. I do that all the fucking time on this show. Maybe you might hear another voice on this show if I get my shit together. And it's entirely me getting my shit together, has nothing to do with the other person. All right, speaking of other people and brilliance, let me try to get back to the fucking topic. Many moons ago, hold on, let me find this. When did he write this? 27th of February, 2014. This is by a guy that I don't want to say I know him, but we've interacted via the magic of the internet and Twitter and stuff like that. He goes by Troublemaker, and his blog, in case I forget to put the link in the show notes, his blog is, I had to make sure I got it right. Accurate information. See, this is why I'm not like the real media, because I try to convey accurate information. I was thinking the other day, you know what cracks me up is reality television. And I was thinking how reality television is faker than shit. And then you take what's supposed to be reality television, which is, of course, the news, and that's also faker than shit. But it has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. So there I go. All right, here we go. ThisIsTrouble.com is where you can find his website, if I forget to put the link. Also, he's linked in the sidebar over at Cynical Libertarian Society, CYNLIBSOC.com on the internet. Yes, click on it, damn it. And give me bitcoins, you fucking cocksuckers. Give me your bitcoins, because I'm selfish, because I'm evil, because I'm an anarcho-capitalist, and I like to oppress people in China and have them make Apple devices for me. Oh, wait, that's not me, that's you. You're the ones who like doing that. Oh, shit. All right, anyway. Randy, what's up? How am I doing so far? Exactly. Staying on topic, as always. This is Trouble.com, and the name of this post is The Modern Birth Control Scam. So I read this back about the time it came out, and I said, man, this is fucking brilliant. Why did I not think about this? And I sort of filed it away. Here comes the land whale. I filed it away for a future podcast. Then, as I was sitting down, I had 4 issues of Elle magazine, the fashion magazine written for women, to go through. And so I went through these 4 issues, and I pulled out, I have right here, I have a stack of paper that I have ripped out here. I have material out the fucking ass. It's the next, I have the next 3 or 4 episodes of Stating the Obvious right here. Oh my god, it's fucking awesome. Anyway, oh my god, it's fucking awesome. I sound like a 14-year-old girl. Oh my god, totally. Alright, I read an article in here, which we're going to read. We're going to read and discuss Troublemaker's post, and then we're going to read and discuss this article out of Elle magazine, because it ties in beautifully with what he writes about. And it brings it all home, and it proves a point, and it gives me an excuse to rag on women, which I feel like doing, because girls, why is it you girls can't fucking read instructions? I got some other stuff going on, there's instructions on the internet, and people are supposed to do stuff, and yada yada yada. All the boys manage to read the instructions and do what they're supposed to do. All the women have to send me emails. Oh, I didn't know we were supposed to do that. Well, did you read the fucking instructions? You know, the fucking instructions that have been on the fucking internet for over a month? The fucking instructions where you RSVP'd to the fucking event? Where the fucking instructions were right fucking there, fucking telling you what you fucking needed to do and telling you what date you needed to fucking do it by. And then I get these emails from people after the fucking due date going, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. Well, did you read the fucking instructions? No, because apparently having titties prevents you from fucking reading instructions. I don't know. What is your fucking problem? Anyway, so I feel like bitching about women today. I also kind of feel like a martini, but what does a martini feel like? Cold and wet. All right. Right. I know. Thanks, Randy. So how far are we into the podcast? 10 minutes. Perfect. So I can actually start talking about the topic now because I've wasted 10 minutes on fucking introduction. We are on schedule. Here we go. The Modern Birth Control Scam, written by Troublemaker at his blog, thisistrouble.com, with additional commentary by the great one himself. Troublemaker writes, I have a theory. Hold with me, it's getting rather late at night and I'm a little, drugged. I accidentally bought drowsy Claritin instead of non-drowsy, so I'm feeling a bit high and loopy. In any case, I have figured out a key scam of society. Birth control pills, IUDs, Plan B, and even abortions are dirt cheap. Hell, they're practically free. These are drugs and procedures that decrease and prevent fertility. However, if we flip the script around, processes like freezing eggs, surrogate mothers, and in vitro fertilization cost a small fortune. Coincidence? IUD. It's unlikely, dude. Commentary time. And he's right. All of this stuff, and I mean birth control pills, yada yada yada, they are dirt cheap. And yet, even dirt cheap is not good enough. It's not good enough for the femistatist. No. They don't just want dirt cheap birth control pills. Oh, they want free birth control pills. God damn it, because it's their body and their choice, but don't expect them to fucking pay for their body. So, if I buy an automobile, it's my automobile, right? Why can't I get the taxpayers to pay for it for me? It's my automobile. Doesn't that mean other people should pay for it for me? That's feminazi thinking. That's femistatist thinking. It's my body, and my body needs birth control pills. Therefore, taxpayers should buy birth control pills for me because it's my body and my choice, but it's their expense. Here's something else I recently found out about IUDs. And of course, brief recap, I've talked about this lots of times before. The most effective form of birth control is not having sex, because if you don't have sex, you can't get pregnant. Statistically, the second most effective form of birth control, according to the information that I've been able to come across in this thing called research, is the IUD. I was chatting with a friend of mine the other day, and we somehow or another, I don't know how the hell we got on the topic of birth control, but she's a chick, and she's got an IUD, and she informed me that apparently, and I don't know if this is a state of Colorado thing, this is a Fort Collins thing, if this is a nationwide thing, I have no fucking clue. She informed me that doctors do not like giving IUDs to women unless the woman has had a baby previously and she is in a monogamous relationship. And I said, why is that? Do you know? And she said, well, I think the reason for having a baby is that it makes the uterus larger or something like that, and it's easier to insert the IUD. Again, neither of us know the answer to this for sure. If you know the answer for sure, let me know. And then I said, well, what's this about having to be in a monogamous relationship to get fucking birth control? Where are, and this is what I said to her, where are the feminists on this? Because she doesn't know what a femistatist is, the way my listeners do. But to get an IUD, the statistically speaking most effective form of birth control other than abstinence, to get an IUD, the doctor wants you to be in a monogamous relationship? Where are the femistatists with their shrill screeches of my body, my choice? Now, my friend's reasoning on this was she thinks the reason for this is that doctors don't want to give IUDs to women and thus encourage rampant sexual activity among women. Now, I don't know if doctors could really be that stupid that they don't pay attention to the fact that women these days, especially the young ones, are complete fucking sluts. Okay, not all of them. Yes, not 100% of women are complete fucking sluts. But living in a college town, I can tell you, the odds are, if your daughter's at college, odds are right now, right this minute, it's 11:45 on Monday, Memorial Day. Right this moment, your daughter is probably just now waking up in an alcoholic fucking hangover daze with the jism from about 3 guys splattered on her face. The idea that letting women use IUDs is going to lead to rampant sexual activity is so nonsensical. But of course, now birth control pills, totally okay. That does not lead to excessive sexual activity. As I've discussed before, and I've done all this, so here's the short version because Randy is informing me that the fucking podcast is going by and I'm going off topic. This is not off topic. This just isn't reading the post. An IUD, compared to birth control pills, cost very little money. Birth control pills have to be taken day after day after day. You have to buy new ones every month. And the pharmaceutical corporations make a shit ton of money on birth control pills. The pharmaceutical corporations don't make hardly jack shit on IUDs. Hence, the main reason why birth control pills are pushed and IUDs are ignored. Remember, whatever the fuck, anything you see in your life, you want to understand where it comes from? Follow the money. Follow the fucking money. That's why you should give me Bitcoins. Donate your Bitcoins. Go to cynlibsoc.com, get the Bitcoin address, and give me fucking Bitcoins. You fucking leeching son of a bitches. How dare you listen to my podcast without paying me? You hate black people and poor people and women and children if you don't give me your Bitcoins. All right. Randy's about to fucking come through the glass and kick my ass. All right, getting back to the post. Here we go. I continue reading the post by Troublemaker. This is trouble.com. To prove my point, we must look no further than simple propaganda. Look at how much the government, parents, and society as a whole encourage birth control. Of course, young girls are pushed to take these pregnancy measures even more seriously when, coincidentally, they are actually the most fertile they will ever be in their lives. They are encouraged to suppress what biology truly wants and jump on the cock carousel. Meanwhile, as the wall looms closer, the ability to be fertile drops considerably. And when this time comes, in comes modern medicine to save the day with a million different methods to get pregnant that only cost the price of tuition to send 2 of the little buggers to an Ivy League school. What a brilliant con. And when I read this part, my brain almost exploded. Because he's exactly right. You know, women today, 2014, are being sold this bill of goods that when they're young, that's when they're supposed to whore around and travel the world and get their career going and all this other stuff. Because, well, you can have a baby later in your life. But he's right. Having a baby is easier and better when your body is young and healthy as opposed to when you're older and unhealthier. And our society, I mean, kids, my God, kids get stuck on birth control pills just as soon as they can fucking swallow a pill, it seems like. You know, I know women who have been on birth control since they're 18 and they're in their 40s and now all of a sudden, oh, I want to stop taking the pill and get pregnant. Well, why the fuck didn't you think about this a long time ago? And just think of all the money flowing to the pharmaceutical corporations because of that. All right, let me keep reading before I run out of time. And Randy's already told me if we go into 2 parts on this one, she kicks my ass. The medical fields pass out birth control like Halloween candy, effectively reducing a woman's ability to reproduce under her own accord. They manipulate a woman by selling her the good life of partying throughout her 20s and even into her early 30s. Once she hits that, though, doctors use a woman's very own biology against her to sell her what is essentially a service. If you think about it, it's hardly different than someone hiring a lawyer to argue their case for them. Women are instead hiring doctors to argue against their own biology, and these doctors are happy to laugh their way to the bank. You see, we vastly underestimate doctors as businessmen. We think that because they took hundreds of classes and spent years of their lives training, they're simple pawns we can play, that they're out of their element as soon as you take the surgical knife out of their hand. What this proves, though, is that reproductive doctors are cunning. They paid attention in Economics 101, while teen girls were too busy passing out free packets of birth control in sex ed. You see, the way society sells life to young women, they want to terminate their eggs. They want to avoid pregnancy at all costs, especially during their most fertile years. To end up with a child at that point would rob the poor souls of lifelong experiences. Therefore, there is a demand for a product that will prevent pregnancy. The medical sectors and the government supply exactly that in the form of the aforementioned drugs and procedures. It is easy for them to keep the market at an equilibrium because these methods are cheap to manufacture. Cheap to manufacture, if I can learn how to fucking read. Good thing this is not a podcast, yes. However, among women aged 30 to 35, there is a high demand for pregnancy itself. So who helps with that? Once again, the exact same people who supply it. The only difference between the supply this time is that the service, getting pregnant, is very limited, expensive, and effectively monopolized. Who knows how much fertility enhancement really costs, but it doesn't matter. The prices that buyers are willing to pay will dictate the market, and women, desperate and hell-bent on having a little rugrat, are more than happy to drive the price sky high. Now, commentary time. Now, this is true. The market will determine what people are willing to pay. The problem, of course, is that, as with virtually every aspect in our society, the market is not left alone to its own devices. I guarantee you, these women out there who are paying huge amounts of money for services to help them get pregnant now that they're 35, 40, 45 years old, I guarantee you there are tax subsidies involved, there are insurance companies involved, there are all these things that are inflating the price. And again, if a woman who waited until 35 to try to get pregnant actually had to drop $100,000 in order to get pregnant, and she actually had to pull that out of her own bank account, that would reduce the likelihood of this shit happening. And we'll explore that in a little more depth when I get to the article from Elle. Then he put some information on here. So the typical salary range for people who have careers, physicians who are reproductive specialists, their typical salary range is $269,000 to $366,000 annually, and the median income for this career is $326,000 annually. And it's true. There is a shit ton of money in, and this is the beauty of creating your own market. So you have young women, you keep them from getting pregnant when it's easy, biologically speaking, and I mean just sexually speaking. You know, when you're 22 years old and you're reasonably good looking, you can get most men to fuck you, and you can get pregnant, and your body is healthy enough to have the baby. So you take all of these women who are primed to get pregnant and make babies, and you prevent them from making the babies. You wait until these women are 35 or 40. Now it's harder for them to get pregnant. Nobody really wants to have sex with them anymore because they're ugly and they're hitting the wall. And they desperately want the baby because that's what they didn't get early in their life, because they put that off because they were busy traveling and getting drunk and having sex with multiple guys and all this other shit. Not that there's anything wrong with having sex with multiple guys, as long as I'm one of them. And plus now, they have credit cards, they have health insurance, they have jobs, they can get loans from banks, they have husbands who are beta males who have money. So now, these women who, when they were younger, when they were poor, but capable of getting pregnant on their own, you sold them birth control pills and the pharmaceutical corporations made money. Now they're old, they can't get pregnant as easily anymore, they have access to more money. What do? You show up and you sell them pregnancy. It's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. It's brilliant. As soon as I figure out how I can make money off of this scam, I'm in. It's brilliant. It's absolutely fucking brilliant. He goes on to say, really, who can blame the doctors for simply taking advantage of the system? Some might say it's not fair for them to use... What he writes is, some might say that it's not fair for them to use biologically as a profit. I think he's got a typo in that sentence somewhere, or else I just don't get what he's trying to say. But it doesn't matter. It's still fucking brilliant. But they're clearly proving, if I could learn to read, but they're clearly proving intellectual superiority. Take 7. But they're clearly proving intellectual superiority over society as a whole. I'll even go so far as to say it's not the fault of young women. What chance do they have against the propaganda mafia? And it's true. You know, a 20-year-old girl who's never thought in her life, who's never had an independent thought, who's never done critical thinking, who's had 12 years of public education and 2 years of college, and who still has the same worldview she had when she was 12 years old. I mean, you can't expect somebody who's never been trained to think critically to look at this system and recognize how she's getting fucked over. He's right. We really can't blame them. We can, because it would be nice if people, not just girls, people in general would learn how to fucking think. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in my lifetime or your lifetime or your grandchildren's lifetimes. Again, this is trouble.com. That's where that came from. I'll try to remember the link in the show notes. Now, this is from Elle magazine. This is an article called Birthrights. Here we go. And just listen to the beauty of everything Troublemaker said being validated. Just listen to the beauty, the sexiness, the deliciousness of every fucking word he wrote being validated. About 3 years ago, when they got married in 2007, wedding photographer Mary Smith and her husband began battling around the question of when to have kids. "We got to get started on this," he'd say. "I know," she'd reply, "just not now." Because the pharmaceutical corporations were making money selling her birth control pills. All right. A few months shy of Smith's 37th birthday, 37 years old, the wall is coming, now seemed like the worst time ever. After plodding through the recession, her business had finally picked up. She'd come a long way from the early days when she'd made as little as $15,000 a year and had to do family portraits on the side. Now clients booked her months in advance for $1 million weddings and flew her as far as Thailand and Mexico. What did I say? Women, when they're young and can get pregnant, don't have much money. They're only making $15,000 a year. But now that she's 37 and the wall is coming, why, she's being booked months in advance for $1 million weddings. You hear that chiming? That's the clock. Chiming midnight. Chiming midnight for your natural reproductive capabilities. As the wall approaches, the only way you can have that baby is with millions of dollars worth of medical assistance. That's going to cost you, oh, well, we're about to find out what it's going to cost you, because that's coming up. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Although she and her accountant husband earn a combined income in the low six figures. Oh, the low six figures. Yes, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money you can spend on having a baby. Smith craved financial stability. They're making the low six figures, but she craves financial stability. If you're making low six figures and you don't have financial stability, you need to learn to control your fucking spending. If you gave me $100,000 fucking dollars, I could live for the rest of my life. How can you have a fucking yearly income in the low six figures and not have financial stability? Oh, that's right, because women consume more than any other animal on the planet, because women spend money. Spend. Oh my God, women can't fucking stop spending money. We need makeup and hair products. We got to have more shoes. Oh, we've got to travel. Oh, and I didn't bother to get pregnant when I was young and healthy, so now I need to get pregnant now because the wall is coming. Oh, that's going to cost how much? Oh, no problem. Put it on my Medicaid bill. All right. Smith craved, past tense. Smith craved financial stability and was working 60 hours a week to build her brand. Now, let's throw this in for a minute. Let's talk about parenting. If you're working 60 hours a week and you can't afford to take the time to get pregnant, how are you going to take the time to parent a child? And of course, the answer is you're going to shove the child into daycare, you're going to hire a nanny, you're going to put it in public school as soon as you can. You're basically going to ignore the child. Now, I have not put any effort into finding out what happened yet because I got shit to do. But it's my understanding that just recently, in the last couple of days, some young man, shot some people. Apparently he was the son of somebody who had something to do with something on TV. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I just want to point this out. I just want to remind all of you out there, every rapist, every psycho killer, every madman with a gun had a mother who failed at parenting. If you don't have time to get pregnant, you don't have time to raise a child. And if you don't have time to raise a child, you shouldn't have a child. And I know that hurts your fucking feelings. Oh, I know your fucking feelings. Oh, your fucking feelings. Well, fuck you and fuck your feelings. Go listen to Stating the Obvious, number 150, where I explain to you why you and your feelings can fuck off. Okay, let's get back to reading because we got a lot to do, and Randy is, of course, telling me we're running out of time. Wait, I'm looking at my notes. Yep. All right, good deal. I have notes. They probably mean something, but since I can't read my own handwriting, I'm just winging it. How is she supposed to fit a pregnancy into that schedule? What if she had Kate Middleton's severe morning sickness? Not just morning sickness, not just severe morning sickness, but what if she had Kate Middleton's severe morning sickness? Because Kate Middleton is so fucking special that her morning sickness is like singled out as its own medical phenomena. Can you women be any shallower and stupider? It's a rhetorical question, I know the answer. Or a complication such as gestational diabetes or high blood pressure, which were more likely in women older than 35. Well, why didn't you get pregnant before you were 35? I mean, didn't you know that women over 35 have pregnancy complications? Aren't you the smartest generation ever? Don't you have... Oh, I guess she's not actually in the smartest generation ever. But don't you have the fucking internet? Did it ever occur to you to use Google? Did it ever occur to you to do what passes for most people as research, which means typing something into Google and then spending 30 seconds reading the first link? Or, God forbid, what if she became pregnant with twins and was put on bed rest? Once they had the baby, the couple would rejigger their lives and hire help. What I say? They'll fucking throw the fucking kid into a fucking daycare. They'll hire a nanny. They'll totally fucking ignore it. They just want the baby for a fucking trophy child. She just wants to be able to say, look, I'm a woman, hear me roar. I have a career and a baby. I can do everything. No, honey, no, you can't. Nobody can do everything. Everybody alive can do anything, but nobody can do everything. But you, as a woman, don't grasp that idea. You just think the fucking world is yours and you should get anything you want. And by God, if you don't get your free birth control, then everybody hates women and you fucking hear you roar and everything fucking in the world exists to validate your existence. And you can do anything and everything you want to do because, oh my God, if I can't have everything I want, then rape culture and patriarchy. All right, let me get fucking focused. Yes, all right. They would rejigger their lives and hire help, but the pregnancy part seemed unnervingly unpredictable to Smith. With a lifelong tendency to fixate on worst-case scenarios, she kept imagining going into premature labor. She could hurt her baby, and it would be her fault from lugging 80 pounds of camera equipment all day. She visited her therapist for help controlling her anxiety, but to no avail. Well, of course, because if the therapist fixes your problems, then you don't have to come back, and then the therapist doesn't make money anymore. I mean, are you really that fucking stupid? By the way, I'm a photographer. I shoot weddings. No photographer I know lugs around 80 pounds worth of equipment. I don't know what the fuck she's doing, but no, there's no fucking 80 pounds worth of equipment to be carried around when you're a wedding photographer. All right. At this point, we start skipping around because I can't read this entire thing. Yes, it was expensive, she told him. More than $100,000 for medical? Oh, so here's some important information. Their conclusion is hire a surrogate mother. Hire a young, healthy woman as opposed to a 37-year-old woman. Hire a young, healthy woman to have the baby for them. That's what this article is all about. Surrogate mothers. Old women who have hit the wall and have health that is not optimal for reproduction are now hiring young, healthy women to have their babies for them. Yes, it was expensive, she told him. More than $100,000 for medical, legal, agency, and surrogate fees. But they could finance it. Remember, these people make low six figures a year. So they're going to pay $100,000 to pay another woman to get pregnant for them. Which is really complex because basically, if a man and a woman want another woman to get pregnant for them, all you have to do is have the man stick his dick inside the younger girl until she gets pregnant. Why this cost $100,000, I don't know. Oh, I know why. Because of the medical industrial complex. Because of the pharmaceutical industrial complex. Because of government regulations. Because, of course, you own your own body, don't you? Except, of course, if three people got together and said, hey, I want Bob to fuck Sally and Sally to have a baby and then give the baby to Judy because we all own our own bodies. And of course we own the child as well because children in our society are property. So you would think this would cost pretty much nothing because you don't even need to pay for a condom or birth control because you're trying to get pregnant. Yet somehow or another, getting a woman pregnant cost $100,000. But wait, there's more. All right. But they could finance it with savings, credit cards, and a loan. Yes, who else makes money off of this? The banking corporations. Because the banking corporations provide the credit cards and the loans at an interest rate, which these old people are using to pay for a young girl to get pregnant and have a baby. And of course, the people who think this is wonderful are the same people who hate capitalism. And that way, she being Smith, could keep going full steam at work because, of course, her career is what's most important. She wants to have a baby. She wants to have a child. But we can't take time away from my career. Of course not. My career is far more important than raising a child. The child is just a trophy child. It's just so I can say, look, everybody, I have a baby, and I can post pictures of my baby on Facebook, and I can get attention and validation, because as a woman, I live for attention and validation. And if there's any moment in my life that other humans are not validating me, well, that's because they hate women. That's because of patriarchy. Yes. It's patriarchy. In what's become the fertility industry's best-kept secret, a small but increasing number of women use surrogates for so-called social rather than medical reasons. Quote, I call these cases designer surrogacy, unquote, says Lori Arnold, MD, a northern San Diego fertility doctor. She says she's working with a socialite, quote, who didn't want to get fat, unquote, a runner who had an upcoming marathon, and a fellow MD, Arnold says, quote, couldn't really afford to be pregnant. Some women work right up to the moment they deliver, but others can be bedridden for several months, unquote. Notice how the focus is keeping people, the whole focus of getting women into the workplace was why? To get women working, quote unquote, official jobs where they can be taxed, where they can provide tax revenue, where they can be tax cattle. And that's why women were sold this fucking line of bullshit that getting a job at a corporation and sitting in a cubicle is a great thing. At the same time, men are doing everything they can to fucking get out of the cubicles. Women are so fucking stupid, naive, brainwashed. I don't know what you want to call it. It's for different women. But women are trying to fucking get into cubicles at the same time men are trying to get out of cubicles. But all of this is about keeping women in the workforce. And then, of course, when you pay the surrogate mother $100,000, that includes all kinds of taxes. Just wait. Speaking of taxes, just wait. All right, here we go. Meanwhile, the Pacific Fertility Center of Los Angeles, at the Pacific... Fuck. Meanwhile, if I take a fucking breath, I'll be able to talk. What a concept. Breathing and talking go together hand in hand. You can tell I'm a professional, right? Meanwhile, at the Pacific Fertility Center of Los Angeles, Fikin Shakini, or something, I totally fucking up that person's name, MD, estimates he's overseen 20 social cases. Quote, they're for reasons most people would find offensive, he says. Quote, I don't ask these parents too many questions because I don't want them to feel judged. Unquote. And yes, that's what's important for women as they go through life. It's right up there with validation. It's right up there with their constant need to be validated by other people. Is their need to not be judged. Because you can't judge women. You can judge men. Of course you can judge men. But women? Why, women are beyond judgment. If you judge a woman, that's patriarchy. Why, women should be able to act like sluts and whores and suck dick and be on birth control pills and get venereal diseases and run wild and get drunk every night, all they want, all through their 20s, their early 30s. But then when they hit 37 and they're burnt out physically and they're working 60 hours a week and they're making all this money and all they care about is their career, but they want a child for trophy purposes, you can't judge them. You can't judge them. They are women. They are perfect. They are without flaw. And if you think women have flaws, you are patriarchy. Quote, I don't know who I'm quoting. I will. All right. I'm skipping far ahead. Quote, the surrogates have leverage and can command $30,000 to $50,000 tax-free income per pregnancy. More if they carry twins or need a C-section, says journalist Leslie Morgan Steiner, author of The Baby Chase: How Surrogacy is Transforming the American Family. Surrogates also may be given maternity clothing, access to support groups, housekeeping services, nutrition lessons, babysitting during doctor's visits, compensation for breast milk or lost wages if bed rest is required, and so on. Yes, my friends, you can get pregnant for another person and make $30,000 to $50,000 tax-free? Tax-free. Tax-free? Now, if you're an engineer and you build a bridge that allows millions and millions and millions of people to drive across a river, you don't get paid tax-free. If you're a doctor and you save lives of humans who are having heart attacks, you don't get paid tax-free. But if you're a 22-year-old woman, you can get $30,000 to $50,000 to have a baby for somebody else and not pay taxes on it. And this is oppression. This is patriarchy. And you get all these benefits. I'm speechless. I am fucking speechless. And we all know that doesn't happen very often. Further on, we got Lisa Fisher. She's 46. She's whining about how she was trying to have babies and she couldn't because she had 41. She attempted to get pregnant with IFV, in vitro fertilization, and she lost the babies, yada yada. Anyway, she says, quote, "I felt so defeated, we went out and got a chihuahua," unquote. This is why I don't date women who have dogs. As I've said before, women who have dogs, if a woman has a dog, it's because she's substituting for either a boyfriend or a child. If a woman has 2 dogs, she's substituting for a boyfriend and a child. And if a woman has 3 dogs, run like hell. Because while all women are batshit crazy, any woman that has 3 or more dogs, that's a lot of compensation. Get the fuck away while you can. All right, let's round this out with the last part. What's this? I'm looking at my notes, trying to figure out what the fuck I've written here. It might be important. Here we go. Given this, it can be hard to understand it can be hard to understand Marie Smith, who's had 2 rounds of eggs stimulated and stashed away, 12 embryos fertilized by her husband for transfer to a surrogate. She's had 12 embryos fertilized and frozen. The amount of money the medical industrial complex is making off this woman because, as Troublemaker said, she waits until she's old and hitting the wall to try to have a baby. She could have had a fucking baby when she was 28. No problem. But nope, she waited till she hit the wall, and now the medical industrial complex is raking it in. Couldn't she just adjust her schedule a bit to allow for a pregnancy? Couldn't she hire an assistant to carry her photo equipment? Surely that would cost far less than $100,000. These arguments don't seem to move Smith. She considers her choice empowering rather than validation of the dubious concept that pregnancy and a big deal career are categorically incompatible. Again, what? Jesus fucking Christ. There it is. These arguments, they don't mean anything to her. Why, she wants the career and a child. She considers all of this this is just validation of how awesome she is. She can have a career. And why can't she carry somebody to carry? Hire somebody to carry. If you're making that much money shooting wedding photos, God, I can't fucking talk. Speaking as a wedding photographer, if you're making that much money, you need to hire some fucking assistants to carry your shit. This is just Bullshit. This is all hamster wheel logic as she's desperately attempting to validate her stupid fucking choice to wait until she's 37 years old to want a baby. Notice, she's not having the kid now. No, she's had the fetuses fertilized and they're frozen so she can do it years down the road when she cares even less about actually paying attention to the child and when she will be even a shittier parent than she's going to be now. Smith says, quote, I could be out of work 3 or 4 months. People could forget about me. I have to be out there constantly producing and being visible, unquote. If your photography sucks so bad that people forget you after 4 months, then you never had anything anyway, honey. Still, the fear of pregnancy may ultimately be what drove her towards surrogacy. A few months ago, she visited a friend in the hospital who'd just become a new mother. The woman moaned about how miserable she was, how she'd been ripped from head to toe delivering a 10-pound baby. Quote, "Oh God," Smith exclaimed. Quote, "I don't want to go through that if I don't have to," unquote. Again, because see, women want the benefits without doing the work. Women want babies, but they don't want to put in the effort of being pregnant. Women think they should get things just for showing up. I'm here and I want a baby. I should get a baby. I should not have to actually do any work, do anything. I should not have to actually get pregnant in order to have a baby. If you believe I have to be pregnant to have a baby, that's patriarchy, and you hate women. Troublemaker, you have been validated. Not that you needed validation, because you're not a woman. You don't go through life constantly needing to be validated by other people to feel like you're alive. But just saying everything he wrote, right there it is. Old women with a lot of money and the ability to borrow money are going to pay large amounts of money for young women to get pregnant, to make them babies, because they can't be bothered to do the actual work of getting pregnant themselves. Holy fucking shit. And women are oppressed. Oh my God, you're so fucking oppressed. You can afford $100,000 to pay somebody else to get pregnant for you, and that's oppression? Oh, fuck me. Just... my fucking brain hurts.